Brett Cooper is a political commentator, right? And there was a massive controversy with her because she left Daily Wire. Daily Wire is like a predominantly right-winged political network, pretty much, and they run independently as well. And she was like a commentator on there, and she was pretty good. Like a lot of people on Daily Wire, like I think Ben Shapiro can be a bit of a fucking wanker at times. I think a lot of the people on there, I didn't really care for too much of them. But Brett Cooper, I thought she was kind of cool. I actually didn't mind watching her stuff here and there. And yeah, but there was massive controversy with her leaving. But now she's made her own. She's already got 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is insane. That's crazy. And this is only her first video as well, which is fucking nuts, bro. Well, her second video because she uploaded a trailer, but first proper video. So we're going to watch it because I really, really want to watch. I was going to watch it this morning, but I was like, you know what? I want to save it for stream.
What's up, guys, and welcome to The Brett Cooper Show. I am so happy that you guys found me over here on this new channel. Yes. I am so excited to start this new chapter with you guys. We have been hard at work behind the scenes, literally boots on the ground, me and my 80-year-old neighborhood grandpa putting shiplap up on the ceilings to cover up my 90s popcorn ceilings that I thought you guys would not find aesthetically pleasing on a set. We're literally in a room at my house. We put this all together. Anyway, I am so excited to bring this new show to you and show you guys what we have been working on. So my goal with this new show is to foster understanding, to go deeper and extract substance in the stories and issues that matter most to us, the issues that impact us on a daily personal basis. And I have always said this, but I want to reiterate it, that I do not take for granted the fact that you guys take hours out of your busy lives to watch my videos, and I want to make sure that every single second of that time matters. I want to make sure that every single video I put out leaves you feeling more confident or empowered or smarter or more inquisitive about the world. And so because of that, we are going to be doing less frequent episodes. We're not going to be chasing the news cycle as much. I want to make sure that every single episode is intentional. This first season, in my eyes, is all about understanding where we've come from, where we're heading, and trying to fix the obvious disconnect between the generations, between values, and so much more. So I hope you are ready for even more hard truths, deeper dives than we have ever gone before, insightful interviews, and of course, lots of laughter and levity, because it would not be a Brett Cooper production if we were not having fun through it all. But for this first episode of season 1 of The Brett Cooper Show, I thought that we could just keep it simple and keep it between us. And I realized I just said keep it simple, but this episode kind of is not simple at all.
Keep it simple, but it's 28 minutes long.
It actually might get me into trouble, but we do need to talk about how—
oh, well, if it gets you into trouble, that is what it is, you know what I mean?
The right runs the risk of literally losing everything that we've worked for if we continue down a path of mimicking the left's toxicity. AKA, we need to talk about right-wing cancel culture.
Ooh, yes. I feel like that's happened a lot recently with, like, you know, like right people, like people who are on the very much on the right side criticize a lot of people on the left for, you know, cancel culture and stuff like that, and now they're trying to do the exact same thing, which is why I criticize both sides of politics, because like I feel like a lot of the things that, you know, they advocate for, and sometimes the way they go about the way they advocate things is very hypocritical, and like this is definitely like one.
But before we do, and you guys know the drill, make sure that you're—
and I think this is what like makes her very popular as well, is that even though she considers herself right-winged, she's still, like in this episode, like, and I haven't watched it yet, but I can definitely already tell from the intro that she's going to be criticizing her own political side, which I think is great. I think you should be able to, even whatever your beliefs are, you should still be able to criticize what you believe in, or like what side of politics you're on.
Subscribe to this new YouTube channel, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all new episodes of The Brett Cooper Show. And if you guys want even more content and ad-free episodes, click the link in the description below to check out my new subscriber-only platform. There'll be lots of information below. Would love for you guys to check it out. But we have far more pressing matters to attend to. All right, so I've been thinking about this topic since New Year's Eve, and I've known that I want to cover this on my first episode because it just keeps coming up. And it specifically came up on New Year's Eve after the actress and comedian Whitney Cummings did a set on CNN's New Year's Eve show. And if you missed it, just take a look.
2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer. or Moderna, whichever one's. Oh God, Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
I thought being a mom would mean that less people would want to come see me. I'm now playing, you know, like 3,000 seat theater,
awesome.
which is about the viewership of CNN these days.
I mean, it's so great. Like this entire set.
Damn, bruh. She went hard. She
is
went
basically
hard.
shocked they have not cut her off. You can tell that she's uncomfortable. She's like very tentative. She's taking a risk, making all of these jokes
should be
that
able to
are
say stuff
incredibly
like
honest.
that.
They're incredibly genuine and insightful about the state of.
That's why no one watches the media anymore. Because they don't do stuff like that. That's why people watch people like Brett or like any other person, or like they go to people who are independent journalists, like the Young Turks. People watch Young Turks because, you know, they just speak their mind and they just speak what they think and they just speak their truths. They don't like try to tiptoe around anything. Like when Trump lost the election, Young Turks went in on the Democratic Party like they did. I'm not even American and I followed that and I was just like, damn, like it's wild. And it's just like, yeah.
Of our world
That's
and the
why
state of
people watch
politics. And people loved it. Like she went on for like 5 minutes and everybody was, again, literally in shock that she was not cut off. And of course, she immediately went viral on X. Some people had never heard of her before. They were so excited to find, you know, another brave and honest comedian who was willing to push boundaries and make these kinds of very, you know, relevant jokes. But what makes the story interesting is that people turned on her as quickly as they fell for her because they realized that 5 years ago when COVID was raging, she used to be very pro-vaccine and that she even had vaccine mandates for some of her live shows during that 2020-2021 period.
Listen, man,
you have some tweets here.
A lot of people were back then. Like back then, back in 2020, when it came to the vaccine and it came to COVID, everyone was scared. No one knew about it. It was a new thing. Everyone was like, oh, we need to get the vaccine. We need that. But now, like, everyone's calmed about it. Everyone's chill about it. You shouldn't judge someone for their opinions back what they had 5 years ago. Like me, I was just like, yeah, I needed to get it for my job. 2, I thought it was like the best thing to do because I'm like, yeah, it's disease, blah, 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 blah. We should get it. Now, I just don't care. Like if someone has the vaccine or not, now I just don't give a shit. But I would say back then, like, yeah, I probably cared more if someone had it or didn't have it. But now I don't care. Like, bro, who cares what her opinions were back then? Everyone was scared of it.
Or you can see her talking about the vaccine, saying that, God, we need a vaccine. Can we make a vaccine now? Go, we need a vaccine. Chop, chop on that vaccine. Like, she was tweeting about this constantly. And immediately, people on X started calling her out. They were calling her a grifter and a fraud, saying that she was an opportunist, that she was taking advantage of this time in culture when things were shifting to the right to try to make a name for herself. They literally lost their damn minds. And again, this happened in a matter of hours. I watched her videos go viral. I was like, man, this girl is so cool. I've seen her on TV. And then suddenly everybody hated her. And it makes no sense to me. Like they were angry that she had not issued a formal apology before getting up and doing a comedy set. Like they were angry that her track record wasn't perfect. Like guys, nobody in the world has a perfect track record.
Of course
and
not.
More than anything, I think that we should focus on their actions. I mean, that's how I evaluate everything in my life, whether it is a politician or my meat delivery service, which is why I trust Good Ranchers. Guys, did you know that 85% of grass-fed meat in our stores
the way that this woman transitions into all of her ads, bro, I swear to God, she should just win I don't know what kind of award, but she got to win an award for just
actually not from the U.S.
That's
the way
that she transitions into these ad
law
reads.
was actually repealed in 2015. So now meat can be packaged here in the U.S., even get a product of the USA label slapped on top, but it's not actually born, raised, or harvested in the States. But with Good Ranchers, when they say that their meat is 100% American made, they actually mean it. You can trust that their meat is actually born, raised, and processed in our country by American ranchers. And you can trust that their products are free from hidden additives. No antibiotics ever, no added hormones, no seed oils, just simple ingredients that you can feel good about feeding your family. They actually make everything more simple because they will literally deliver their products directly to your door. With GoodRanchers.com, everything that you need to create a delicious meal is just a click away. Their wide selection of pre-portioned, high-quality meat means less time preparing and more time actually sitting around the dinner table. And if you go to GoodRanchers.com/Brett, you can even check out my exclusive box that I curated with all of our favorite products. These are
Can't lie, if this was in Australia, I'd probably get this. Like, honestly, just having meat delivered to my door. I'd love some of that.
The household staples that Alex and I eat throughout the week, from the brats to the steaks to the pork chops. I know that you guys will love them as much.
Did anyone ever watch like Smosh back in the day and they had that song where it was called I Put That Meat in My Mouth? Did anyone ever watch it?
I put that meat in your mouth. You know you love it when I put that meat in your mouth.
He's doing stream and saw a video called Meat in Your Mouth. Wait, you've never seen Meat in Your Mouth? I just listened to it. Let's listen to it again.
What do I do? You put that meat in your mouth. You put that meat in your mouth. First dates are always great when you put that meat in your mouth. Oh.
Anyways, back to the sorry, I was watching Brett Cooper's latest video, and then she was talking about Good Ranchers, and then I started talking about putting meat in my mouth, so I got distracted. Anyways,
as
back
we
to this
do.
video.
And if all of that was not enough to convince you, right now Good Ranchers is still running their New Year New Meat promotion, where if you subscribe to any of their boxes, but preferably the Brett Cooper box, you will get free ground beef, free chicken breasts, or free salmon in every order for an entire year. Plus,
3 a.m. type
if
of
you
videos?
use my
Oh,
code
facts.
Brett at checkout, you will get an additional $25 off your first order. So visit goodranchers.com today. Make sure to check out that Brett Cooper exclusive box and use code Brett at checkout for an additional $25 off. It has seriously never been easier to prioritize your family's health, make things more convenient,
I just go to the
support
butchers,
a company
man.
that
There's a
actually
butcher's not too
follows
far from
through
mine.
on their word. And I understand that people are upset because being angry about COVID and everything that happened during that fever dream of a couple of years, it's
bro, that was
understandable.
wild.
Awful things happened. I mean, the lockdowns, the vaccines, the being separated from our families, kids being kept out of school, it was a travesty.
Yeah, but
we have moved on from that. And also we need to be real because think about who we just elected. Think about who we spent the last couple of years propping up and encouraging and fighting for. Donald Trump. The man who first ushered in lockdowns, the man who encouraged us all to get the vaccine and is still saying how amazing it is. So we can support him and elect him and stand behind him 100% knowing that he isn't perfect. He doesn't have a perfect track record.
Of course
but
not.
a
No one is.
comedian that has changed her mind and is now bravely going on CNN to tell some mildly based jokes. That's not appropriate because she didn't apologize.
This is one thing, and I criticized it when I was talking about the whole Asmongold situation yesterday as well, is that, like, people so much these days, it's just like, why can we just, like, agree with someone on one situation, disagree with them on another, and just be fine with it like that? It's just like, you don't have to, like, yeah, if someone wanted to back in 2020 and they were pushing vaccines and whatever, who cares, man? Like, it was back then. If they, like... Who gives a shit?
It
People
makes
are just
no sense. Like
over-exaggerating.
so many conservatives that we follow, that we all love, were misled or wrong about COVID. My
Of
mother,
course.
my tinfoil hat, Alex Jones watching mother who's literally building a bunker. I remember getting grounded in 2020 because I went to the beach with my friends in Los Angeles and she was like, "You're going to kill me. You are going to kill me. You need to go out into the garage. I don't want to see you." Like literally was
Of course, we
grounded.
were all scared of COVID. None of us knew what it was. None of us knew. Everyone was just like, we were all cautious.
Because she
man.
thought that this was so serious. And it's
Yeah,
okay
of
that people were
course.
wrong and that things changed because
Facts.
we genuinely, most people, had no idea
Yep.
what was going on and what was actually true, what was real. So that is one point that I want to make. But most importantly, isn't the goal to change people's minds and bring them over to the other side and show them the light? Like, that is what my goal is. But now people are seemingly upset when that happens because these individuals who have come over weren't right all along. Like, we
so
spent
dumb.
10 years fighting tooth and nail, proving people wrong, fighting back against cancellations, dispelling allegations about us, about our political party, about things going on in the world, exposing corruption and lies day after day after day, trying to convince people. I thought that that was the goal. I actually look at Whitney Cummings as a huge win, like a bold win, a refreshing acknowledgement of how far we've come, how many people have bravely, dipped their toe onto the other side, who have admitted that they were wrong and that they've now seen the light. That is objectively a very good thing. And I commend her, and we should all commend her, for having the bravery to admit when she was wrong and take a step to the other side. And again,
Yeah.
a lot of people think that this is a grift. A lot of people think that it's not real, that she hasn't actually changed her
I
mind.
fucking hate that word. Grift. Shut the fuck up, bro. Oh my god.
I completely disagree. Like, you can literally go back over the last couple of years and you can see
It's like people can't have a change of opinions. It's like you had to, from the moment that you were fucking born, you have to have the one opinion that everyone agrees with, and you can't change your mind as years go on. What's wrong with changing your opinions over things? Like, it's like, I don't understand
and
it.
how her
What's
mind's
wrong
are
with
just-
changing
one of my
like
good
the
friends,
way
Chris
that you
Williamson,
think?
he has a
It's
podcast,
good.
Modern Wisdom. She has been on his show twice in the last couple of years. And in those episodes, she goes in depth about how being a mother changed her. She became a mother to a son, which made her rethink culture and society, specifically thinking about gender roles and masculinity, completely realizing that she has been lied to. And that was kind of a snowball effect into her changing her mind about everything else. She also did a podcast appearance more recently where she actually hit this political transformation head on. Just take a listen.
We are in a time where if you are on the left and you don't criticize your party, how much do you even care about your party? I don't think the left is as liberal as it used to. It's like the left became the party of censorship. And
it did.
My body, my choice, but you have to take this vaccine. And my body, my choice, pro-choice party, but you don't have a choice in your candidate.
So again, you are seeing her mind change. You are seeing the issues that forced her to rethink everything about her political stance and about her political parties. And I'm seeing all of these comments.
You should be able to criticize even if you are like supportive of that party. Like, you know, even if you are on the right side in America, and you should still be able to criticize Donald Trump and stuff like that. Here in Australia, great example. The prime minister that we have now, he's part of we have a two-party system here as well. We have Labor and Liberal. And like, I don't care that if people know who I voted for, like, I don't really give a shit. But like, when our current prime minister, I voted in the current prime minister. Like, I voted for him. And now with the job that he's done nothing for this country. And I'm criticizing him, and I'm like, yep, you know, I voted for you because I thought that you would do a good job, and you haven't. And I have every right to criticize him and change my mind about him, about the way that things have gone.
We're posting clips from this.
But it's like in America, they don't do that. They just once they have what side they're on, they just fucking stick to it. It's the same with the right
Whitney,
as well.
It's 4 years too late. It doesn't matter. You're not actually brave. I don't care when it happened. Like, truly, I don't. That's BS to me.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
stupid.
happy that she's thinking critically about the situation and that she has gotten to a point where she feels brave enough to speak about it. Like, again, that is a net good, in my opinion. And so the point I'm making is that, yes, people can change. That is a good,
it doesn't matter when they change. Whether they change now or before,
that
who
happens to all
cares?
of us. And when you change, that means that you then come with a past. You come with choices that you've made.
You come
and
with
things
luggage.
that you believe that you possibly regret, that you would not believe or do now. That's fine. Like, genuinely, that is okay. That is actually very normal for every single human being. So why are we ripping somebody apart because they were 4 years too late? Like, again, wasn't the goal to get people to this point? And so in my opinion, the correct and the good thing to do is to welcome people like Whitney Cummings and understand where they're coming from and have empathy for the fact that, yeah, maybe it took them longer than some other people, but they finally got here. And that doesn't mean that you have to trust them implicitly and say, oh my God, here's your MAGA hat. Here you go. I'm going to follow you. And you're actually going to be our shining guide of a light for conservatism. No, like, that is ridiculous. You can tread lightly and be cautious, but you also don't have to be nasty. You also don't have to be a troll online because they aren't perfect. Because I guarantee the people that are commenting these things about her are not perfect either. And more than anything, I think that we should be focusing on people's actions, which brings me to yet another example as I've been thinking about all this cancel culture stuff, which is Bud Light. And I can't believe that I'm touching this because I know that this is still such a hostile issue on right-wing social media, but I think we need to talk about it. We all remember their infamous ad with Dylan Mulvaney. I did so many videos about that. They gave Dylan a beer can with Dylan's face on it. It was a whole thing. We had their female millennial girl boss marketing exec saying that the Bud Light consumer base was fratty and out of touch.
Yeah, it's because it's dudes. Who drinks Bud Light? Dudes. And just like your bros, man.
Which really just meant that Bud Light was out of touch with who their audience was.
Yeah.
But Bud Light has spent the last 2 years trying to make things right. They have literally been repenting for 2 years. Like, in my personal opinion, Bud Light has done more to get back on track and actually listen to their consumer base than, say, the companies that Robbie Starbuck has been going after. The companies that get a ominous message on LinkedIn from Robbie saying, we know what you're doing behind the scenes. We're going to expose you. They get freaked out. They put out an apology and a very well-curated PR statement rolling back everything they've been doing over the past couple of years, getting rid of the BLM initiatives, all of that BS. And while those things are obviously still net positives and they're good for society,
companies only give a shit about making money. That's it. They don't care about your views. They don't care about your ideology. They give a shit about making money. That's it.
Those are actions that are being done out of fear and convenience. Where Bud Light is literally putting in the work, whether you like it or not. Like, over the past couple of years, the ad agency that was involved in that Dylan Mulvaney beer can, they fired 13 people immediately after. Bud Light put 2 marketing execs who were involved in that on leave and ended up firing them. They gave an apology, albeit very squishy, didn't actually hit the issue head on, but they did make an apology.
Of course, they're not going to hit the issue head on. The companies do that all the time. They tiptoe around it, but they're like, sorry for the thing we did, and someone will be like, what thing? And they'll be like, you know the thing. Yeah, the thing. Yeah, you guys know.
Importantly, they drastically changed their marketing tactics. Like, they actually got back to who Bud Light's consumers are and what Bud Light stands for. Like, they made Shane Gillis the face of their company, which
love that man.
Was a dream come true for him because he loves Bud Light. They tried to make manly advertisements again. Like, every single one of their ads at this point, I think, has men in flannels drinking beer and watching football. They did an exclusive partnership with Dana White and the UFC, which, oh my God, I'm sure you guys remember this, which royally pissed people off. I mean, conservatives thought that it was such a betrayal on Dana White's part to help Bud Light rebrand their image after this scandal. But Dana White...
Why? It's like, good, yeah. It's like, shouldn't you be happy? This is why I hate both sides of politics, right? This is why, like, as much as I'll criticize the left side of politics and I'll criticize the right, because neither of them can be happy. These far-right people, you'll never make them happy. These far-left people, you'll never make them happy. This is a great example of it.
Interestingly had a completely...
This is why I like Brett as well, because she comes at it from, like, even though she is right-winged, she still criticizes her own side of politics, which is great.
He was on a podcast talking about this, and he said, we had multiple bidders on the table. They were one of them. History has shown me, with relationships that I've had with other beer companies, I don't go crazy over the whole Patriot thing, but I consider myself a proud American. I'm happy to be an American. I love this country, and you are way more aligned with Anheuser-Busch than you are with other beer companies. I guarantee it. And then he went even further on Bussin' with the Boys, and he said this.
So if I have made the decision to go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light, there's a damn good fucking reason. I know the inner workings of the beer business better than any of the other these guys out, these fans.
Dana White is a very, very conservative man. Very, very conservative. And also a very intelligent man as well. Very, very smart. Like, where he's gotten today and where he's gotten the UFC today, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Every single part of the way he knows what he's talking about.
And basically, they went after Anheuser-Busch for being woke and doing what they did. 65,000 Americans are employed by Anheuser-Busch, and a lot of them are vets. That alone should be enough reason. Number 2, they spend almost $1 billion a year with U.S. farmers. That should be a reason you do it. All the stuff that they do for first responders and vets and $44 million spent over the last however many years for their families. Every time there's a natural disaster in America, they shut down the plant and turn it into a bottled water facility. And they've done something crazy like 100 million bottles that they've sent out to Americans in need. Give me a fucking break.
I mean, by that point, Dana White was over it. He had been questioned about this so much. He had been criticized, utterly ripped to shreds. So many conservatives that had aligned with him and were partnering with him were breaking off ties. It was literally like the seas had parted. There was a divide over Bud Light because people couldn't decide whether they deserved to be redeemed or whether they should literally be boycotted and canceled into oblivion forever. And I know
that's the thing is that, like, you guys, the right-wing people, they're doing exactly what they criticize the left-wing people that they do. Like, left-wing people, like, you know, a company will do something that's considered conservative, and all of a sudden these people on the left, they'll start, like, saying, yeah, cancel them. And then the right will be like, man, why are you guys canceling them? That's ridiculous. Stop with this cancel culture bullshit. And then they go and do the exact same thing. It's like, it's hypocritical. It's so hypocritical and it's ridiculous.
There are people who disagree and they want to see these companies who have made wrong turns.
Like, there's nothing wrong with pushing back against something. That's fine. But saying that it fully needs to be cancelled is just dumb. Criticize it and try to influence it and put your opinion out there to try and push them and say, hey, we don't like what you're doing. Doesn't mean that you should be gone altogether. We just want you to go in the opposite direction from what you're going right now.
Made bad decisions. They want to see them completely destroyed. Canceled, ended, bankruptcy, never to be seen again. But I actually completely disagree. Like, I want to see companies change and be better and come back stronger and actually listen to their consumers. Like, I think about companies like Disney. Disney is an incredibly important company and has been.
No, fuck Disney, bro. Disney ruined my Star Wars. Brett, they ruined Star Wars. I'll never forgive them for that, okay? Never.
for generations.
It ruined
It
my
has
Star Wars
changed
chat.
thousands and thousands of lives. It has changed the direction of so many different industries. It would be a shame to see it be completely destroyed. But I do think it should be better. I think that
And
they should
just remember this as well. If you know anything about old Disney, you know that they were very, you know, that they used to support a certain mustache man in Germany. They were very supportive.
actually
of
listen
that.
to their
I'm just gonna say.
audience.
So you know they've changed as well on their views on things.
To
So
the consumers who pay their bills. That is what needs to change. Like, I don't want to lose integral and historical and important parts of American society simply because I'm bitter and I've been burned. And the way to avoid this is to be self-aware, but it's also to be smarter. And in my opinion, the best way to become smarter is through Peterson Academy.
Yep,
and Peterson Academy is Jordan Peterson's online university that is open for enrollment
You and your
right now. And if you are someone
goddamn
who loves lifelong
ad
learning
reads,
and wants
bro.
to learn from the brightest professors in the
You
world,
dump
if you
them
are
on me when
someone
I
who has
least
ever
expect them.
benefited
Well,
from
actually, I
Dr.
did
Peterson's
expect that one,
lectures
but
like
still.
I have, or his incredible
Transitions,
guests that
Brett.
come on his
Goddamn.
show, then this platform is for you. And every month, Peterson Academy releases 4 new 8-hour university-level courses taught by world-renowned professors, and it's produced in a way to keep you engaged. These courses cover an amazing range of subjects, from statistics to philosophy to psychology to mathematics to science to English literature and so much more. And they're also complete with optional testing to further your understanding. There is also a built-in social community so that you can engage and interact with like-minded students as you're learning, and they are also rolling out new educational features as the platform grows. So if you are ready to challenge your intellect and expand your horizons and truly take control of your education, it is time to go to petersonacademy.com/Brett. It is $599 a year or $59 a month to access all 31 8-hour courses plus.
I'm not gonna say it. Don't worry about it. But that's a lot of money.
the
I was gonna say something. She's married. I'm not gonna say it.
4 new courses that they are releasing
won't
every
say
single month. Plus, you'll get that social community and
I'm
a
not gonna say
7-day
it.
money-back guarantee. And the best part is that at that
Jesus
price, you do not
Christ.
have to take out a $60,000 student loan just to further your education. So again, make sure to check out petersonacademy.com/Brett today. Again, that's petersonacademy.com/Brett to join Peterson Academy today. And I know that this is a very hot take in conservative circles right now, but in light of all of this, this is why I am choosing to give Mark Zuckerberg and Meta a chance. I want to see them be better. I want to see them succeed. And I feel like we've literally been...
Look at him, bro. Mark Zuckerberg went from lizard to absolute Giga Chad, bro. Lizard to Giga Chad. Like, look at this man on the right. Like, he's got the nice hair. He's still got the lizardy face, but it's fine. Man's got the nice chain. He's wearing a nice, like, baggy t-shirt
Watching
and
Mark
shit.
Zuckerberg transform. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, again, like Whitney Cummings, he's grifting, he's opportunistic, he's just changing right now. Are you kidding me? Like, I have been watching Mark Zuckerberg beef himself up. He started doing martial arts and jujitsu. Like, when he started doing jujitsu, I was like, it's over for the libs. And guess what? It kind of was. Didn't he open a, like, cattle ranch in Hawaii? He started talking about the importance of eating grass-fed beef. Like, somewhere along the line in the last few years.
He's kind of been, like developing as a robot. I'm joking. As a person for like a few years now. It didn't just happen overnight.
Something clicked for him in his life and he began to change. I also personally think that his response to the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, I thought that that was very, very genuine. I didn't think that that was calculated or opportunistic at all. I think that he, like so many other Americans who had turned away from Trump, who didn't really like him, I think that they saw him in a completely different light. I mean, you watched a man who has literally faced lawfare, has faced slander and shame, has been kicked out of his circles, has lost basically his entire community, and now he is being physically attacked, he is being shot at. And you see him stand up and say, fight, 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 because he believes in this country. He doesn't have to do any of this. He could be at Mar-a-Lago golfing.
Right, the Trump assassination was like the wildest 2 weeks, man, of social media. That shit was wild, bro.
So we always say he doesn't have
It
to be
was
president.
wild.
He doesn't need to be running again. He can
Even
be living
like
a peaceful
everywhere
life.
in the world, it
but
was
he's
wild.
choosing to show up against all odds because he believes in this country and he believes that it can be great. And I think, again, like a lot of Americans, that clicked for Mark Zuckerberg. And if you don't know the clip that I'm talking about, just listen to what he said immediately after the assassination attempt.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
Bro. I'm an Aussie, and like I was like, damn. Fuck, I wish I was. This is the first time in my life, right? I've shit on Americans so much. Alright? listen, I love Americans, but a lot of you, oh my God, you have to admit, some of you can be really dumb. All right, there's a lot of Americans out there that are really stupid. Okay, I know you. It takes up majority of my sub base. Majority of people sub to my YouTube is Americans, and I'm grateful for that. Right, really am. But some of you can be really, really dumb, and I've always been proud to be Australian, and I would never change that ever in my life.
What are you doing, step bro?
Thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate it. But when I saw that image of Donald Trump pumping his fist after getting shot at, I will admit, part of me was like, damn, fuck, I wish I was American. What's up, bro? What's up?
I think in that moment, he developed a man crush. He was like, this is what a real man is. He's tough, he's strong, this is what I want to be. I genuinely think that it was inspiring, and the gears started turning at a much faster rate. I really think that that was the push he needed to draw his line in the sand and start to unravel everything that he and Meta had been doing for so many years, had been complicit in, which is why, in my opinion, he sent that now famous letter to Jim Jordan, where he basically admitted to all the censorship and said the White House was encouraging and forcing their hands. He said that in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. This is really important. We're going to talk about that later. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this.
This was what I'm actually really surprised that Mark Zuckerberg came out and was that honest about this. I really, really am. I am super surprised that he came out and just exposed the Biden administration for like pressuring his teams to censor certain like COVID-19 content. I really am. Like when he came out and said this stuff, I'm like, damn. I was like, damn, he don't give a fuck. Like this man don't give a shit. And that shouldn't happen. I'm sorry, but that shouldn't happen because it's like you Americans will criticize China and like other communist countries as well, such as like, you know, North Korea and somewhat Russia as well, for censoring the people of their country. Right, America will criticize them, and then they go ahead and do the exact same thing. It's just like you can't be doing it. You can't criticize China for the censorship of their people, and same with North Korea, but then go ahead and censor the content of COVID-19. I'm sorry, but you can't do that. It's contradictory.
And a lot of people read this letter and they said, oh, he thinks that Trump's going to get in office and that he is going to get reprimanded, that he's going to be thrown in jail. He's trying to cover his track. But that last line spoke volumes. We're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Any administration, either direction. I actually think that he was saying, Kamala, if you get elected, we're not doing this again. Because I know better now. I have more strength. I have more courage. I've seen somebody literally get shot at in the face and continue to stand up against absurdity and tyranny. And I now have the balls to stand up to you. So I think it works in both directions. And then, guys, to top all of this off, he made a video a couple months later, which I'm sure you've seen, announcing a complete overhaul of how Meta and how Facebook monitors content with a focus on free speech, which is, you know, what it should have been the entire time. But now they're going back to their roots, is what he said. Yeah. Just watch.
The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship.
Stupid.
By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
He's saying this is a global trend that you are all complicit in. We're not doing this again. And now that we have Trump coming into office, it's going to be a lot easier for us to fight back against all of this. And within minutes of this video dropping on social media, it was announced that they were, you know, rolling back fact checkers. My favorite part of that video was actually when he said that he was moving the content moderation team from an office in San Francisco to Texas, was hiring all new people, which was just such a F the libs moment. Like, okay, now we're taking this away from you, San Francisco tech bros. We're taking it to Texas where people are a lot more reasonable.
I gotta be honest, if I had to move to anywhere in America, Like, if I had to move out of Australia, it would be Texas.
That was just fantastic. He literally got rid of the DEI teams at Meta, removed tampons from the men's bathrooms, which was just
That's just so...
insane that they were there in the first place. He put Dana White on the Meta board of directors, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing that he did. Because with that, he said, I'm taking this action, yes, but I'm putting somebody incredibly powerful, incredibly well-connected on this board to not only hold me accountable, but also hold the entire company accountable. And of course, and I know people are already going to be commenting about this, and I'm sure you guys are concerned, but with Mark Zuckerberg's track record, obviously...
Hey, thanks so much for the sub, man. I appreciate it.
Obviously, we should not jump in heart first, trusting this man implicitly. But you also shouldn't dismiss the work that he is doing that will make our lives better, that will hopefully change the course of the media landscape, much like Elon Musk and X has done. We should, in my opinion, hope for the best and hope that he is being genuine and be excited about the changes that he's making. And this man is also in an incredibly difficult situation right now. Like, everyone hates him. If you go online and you watch any videos about Mark Zuckerberg right now, you have libs screaming, losing their
mind. You're the worst kind of suck up. You've sold out truth. Karma will get you. BS, and you know it. Well, I'm done. What's so bad about what he did? What he did was good. Why do people go against this? Whether you're on the left or right side of politics, it's like he's literally trying to bring in free speech. What's so bad about that?
Saying we're not going to be on Meta anymore. We're getting rid of Instagram, getting rid of Facebook, literally ripping him to shreds. One of my favorite things to do over the last month has been to watch all of my lib friends on Facebook meltdown over this. So they're pissed off at him.
I don't like Facebook anyways. I use Instagram.
Who think that he should be in jail, that nothing he does will ever rectify the situation that he created, that he does not deserve a second chance, that we should also leave Meta, leave Facebook. Like, he can please nobody at this moment. He is between a rock and a hard place. Like, there is no real winning for him here, because everybody's going to hate him regardless, and nobody is going to like him or trust him. So he is having to do what he believes is a moral right.
That's what you should always do. That's what you should always do. If he thinks it's truly right, don't worry about the criticism there. Do what you think is right. And if you think that changing yourself and changing the way that you've ran your platform for the last 4 years is for the better, then do it.
The harder decision, even though it might not be the easier decision. And I will always respect somebody for attempting to do that. And like,
whenever people say like, oh, I'm not going to use the platform anymore, or we're going to boycott, shut the no, you're not. No, you're not. People say that so many times.
No,
we're not going to, let's boycott.
A lot of people believe that he should face repercussions for what he did over the last 10 years. Other people want him to apologize, which in my opinion, he did in that letter to Jim Jordan. And who knows if he will face repercussions. I don't know what Trump is going to do. It seems like they're kind of buddy-buddy, considering he was sitting right behind him at the inauguration. And other people...
That was the funniest shit ever. When he was sitting next to Jeff Bezos' like girlfriend or wife, and he's got caught in 4K staring at her tits. And Mark's married too.
People are saying, this is one of the most wealthy individuals in America who runs an incredibly powerful company. You should have just pushed back against Biden and the Biden administration. And while that is obviously, yes, true, to me...
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how rich you are, you're not more powerful than the government. You aren't. You are not more powerful than the government, bro. I'm sorry, but you're not.
The fact that this incredibly wealthy and powerful man was afraid of our U.S. government,
of course,
speaks more to their overreach and their corruption and their power than it does to his character. Because if they were willing to attack him and threaten him, imagine what they would have done to all of us. I mean, we saw what they did to people over the last 5 years. So it's understandable that he was apprehensive about not pushing back even more. And so that is why I genuinely am hoping for the best. I want him to be genuine. I want him to succeed, because that will be better for all of us. And in my opinion, believing in somebody's ability to change is instrumental to the health, number one, to the health of all of us in our personal lives, but it's also instrumental to the health of the right and our movement. Because if we lose that, we become no better than the left. The left that we have all been canceled and ridiculed by. The left that we have called out for policing.
What's the saying? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Speech and being relentlessly tribal in the way that they eat their own and do not allow anybody to have any kind of dissenting opinion or make any kind of misstep whatsoever. The left that says you can't talk about X and you can't do Y. Is that really who we want to become? I go on social media, I go on X, and that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of infighting. It's a bunch of people freaking out because people aren't perfect. Oh my God.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no! I made a mistake.
Of course, there is a difference between
We're
that,
human,
that
man.
kind of toxicity and those cancellations and simply being cautious and holding people accountable and hoping for the best. But with what I'm seeing online, with what people are saying and commenting, those lines are becoming increasingly blurry. We just elected Donald Trump to his second term, which is fantastic. I think most people are very, very excited and pumped about it. I think that the world feels a lot better since January.
As a foreigner, I'm excited for the content, bro. It's already been good so far. It's been really great. Can't wait for more content, bro. It's been good. I love it. I love waking up every morning and then seeing something on like Twitter or YouTube, and it's just like, what has Donald Trump said now?
February 20th.
Fucking
But Donald Trump is a former Democrat.
So funny.
And a lot of people on the right
Yeah, he
have
is.
serious problems with him, whether
So is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was a Democrat for many years.
that is because of his track record
his
on
his parents were hippies.
COVID, the vaccines, the fact that he spent a lot of money, more than he should have in his first term, whether it was because he appointed rhinos, whether it was because of Jan 6. But people have gotten over a lot of that. They've pushed past that and they've said, yes, he might have made mistakes, but he's trying to be better. He is going to get this country back on track, and I'm choosing to believe in him. I mean, think about Tulsi, think about RFK Jr., these two former Democrats who still, to this day, do not share a lot of the traditional conservative values, but are doing very important work. And we've all gotten on board with them, and we are trusting them to work with Trump and help lead our country in a good direction. These people have all been welcomed with open arms. There will be growing pains for all of this. But we also cannot simply become what we just spent the last 10 years criticizing, doing daily shows to bring people over to the other side, to show them that they were wrong, to expose the corruption, and then be angry and troll them because they weren't right all along. It literally is cognitive dissonance that makes no sense. We can't build a platform.
And it just causes more divide. That's why people don't like a lot of like people who are on the left, because they do stuff like that. Like I've said this. So I don't think I've said it that many times, but I know other people have said it. Asmongold has said it many times as well. Is that like, I think the thing that has pushed people to the right side of politics isn't people like Brett Cooper who talk about the right side of politics. It's people on the left side of politics who do stuff like cancellations and berate and like belittle people and talk down to people and tell them how terrible they are and try to talk shit about them. They have been the ones to push people to the right side. So if now you're on the right and you're doing the exact same thing to the people on the left that you've been criticizing for all this time, you're just going to do exactly what they did. You're going to push them towards the back down to the other side. Like it doesn't make sense. You're being an idiot. This is why, like, I hate both sides of politics.
Free speech.
Because they're both, you will notice that a lot of the times far left and far right people turn out to be a lot more similar than you think. Like, take away their opinions, just the way that they go about things, people who are far left and far right turn out to be pretty fucking similar. They have a lot more in common than they think.
And then tell people
really
what they can and can't speak about because of their track record or because what they believed 4 years ago. Like, that's not morally or philosophically consistent, and it's also just not right. It's not a healthy path for us to go down. We are at an incredibly pivotal point in our culture right now, and we cannot get complacent or get messy or get morally inconsistent just because we won a singular election. That means we actually have to lean in more. We have to be better and make sure that we stay on a right path, because if not, we could literally lose all of this and self-implode because of the toxicity, because we got lazy and fell into the same traps that destroyed the left.
Yeah,
you have to be self-aware.
It's why Biden and the Democrats ended up losing this last election, is because it wasn't because of, anything that, yes, obviously, there was more push from the right and all that kind of stuff, but one of the main reasons why it failed was self-implosion.
And we have to be better.
But yeah, I think that was a really great video. I like Brett Cooper a lot. Like I said, usually I never really follow right-wing politics. I've always thought a lot of the people at the Daily Wire were really ridiculous and kind of stupid. Like I said, I always thought that Ben Shapiro is a bit of a dumbass. Do I disagree with everything that he says? No, I think that some things that he says is quite good, but also I think that some things that he says is really stupid. But I feel like when Brett Cooper speaks about things, I feel like she does come at it from a very intellectual standpoint, and I very much like this about her, from the fact that she's even though she's on the right side of politics and she will say that she's a right winger, she still is sitting here and is able to criticize the party that she's involved in. And I think that it's really, really good, the fact that you should go ahead and do something like this, because you should be able to criticize the party that you're within, even when they're doing something wrong. And I think that if you're going ahead, if you're a right-winged person and you've criticized, you know, left-wing politics for such a long time now, and now you're going ahead and doing the exact same thing that they've been doing for like all these years now, it's just extremely hypocritical and completely fucking stupid. Like, it really is. Like it is. Cancel culture. You criticize cancel culture for like the last 10 years. Now all of a sudden you're going to try and cancel people. Shut the hell up. Like I've seen so many people over the years complain about how like, oh, but that person, they put that tweet out like 6 years ago. They're a completely different person to 6 years ago. And now they're doing the exact same thing with that comedian. It's like, what she said was 4 years ago. Back when we didn't even know that much about COVID. A lot of people were scared about COVID, and like, you know, they were still like, yeah, we probably need a vaccine and all that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden, because she said that, now they're gonna shit on her. Doesn't make sense, man. And even if like she still agrees with vaccines, who cares, man? Well, you can't disagree with her on one situation? Like, if you disagree with her on one thing, that's still fine. That's absolutely fine. It's fine to disagree with people on. Not only did she leave Daily Wire, but she took Good Ranchers with her, winning. Yeah, that's true. She did have that mention. No mention of personal grievances or petty vendettas. No Dragon Form employees. Yeah, I like the fact that she didn't like open up and like shit on Daily Wire or anything like that. I really find it good that she actually did that. Both the right and left need to realize that we should value communication over cancellation. That right there, that is a good comment. 110%, because both left and right are very big on this when it comes to cancellation. Value communication over everything. That is 110%. But before we do move on, let's check how the comments section is doing. You know, this video is what
so to click the link in the description below to check out
1.7 million views in 11 hours. Meanwhile, the
hey
comment
guys,
section.
And thanks for joining me for.
They have struggled to get over 100,000 views since a month ago. Yep. The last time they reached over 1 million views was actually Brett Cooper's last video, 1.4. Last time they reached over 500,000 views was Brett Cooper's second last video. So yeah, they're obviously not doing well whatsoever. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me, because like, people didn't watch this show because of the show. People watched it because of Brett Cooper. Like, she's just from this video, you can definitely tell she's a very intellectual, like, young woman. Like, she's younger than me, which it wouldn't hard to do because I'm fucking old. 27 soon, chat.